Hi everyone. I see that we have 37 people who have joined. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes for other people to join as well. If you have any queries, any doubts that you want me to clear up, you can drop them in the comment section. I will address them. Has anybody tried the features that we practiced in the last two sessions? Is there anything in particular that you guys want me to cover in the next session? Converting to smart object. Okay, noted. Anything else, guys? Anything other than that you want me to cover? Right, how to convert an image or an asset to a smart object, right? So what you can do is on the layer panel, you can just right click on the layer that you want, the name section, not the image itself, not the icon of the graphic, but the name itself, right click, and on the list of the options that you see, you will see convert to smart object. So you can definitely try that one out. For a shortcut note, yes, we will add that to the Notion file today. You can refer to that. Masking, yes, we will cover that in today's session. Right, advanced. So basically, this is a boot camp for graphic designing, mainly by using Photoshop. So we are covering all the basics so that everybody, gets on the same page. Even the people who have not used Photoshop before, they can, use that. T-shirt designing, yes, of course, we can cover that. In fact, what we can do today is one of the typography styles that we work on. Maybe I can give you guys a walkthrough of how to add that on a T-shirt mockup. So the link that you are seeing that Let's Upgrade has shared just now in the chat, these are the shortcuts to Photoshop. I mean, as we had talked about yesterday, it would be ideal if you guys can maybe just go through one, shortcut a day. If you can remember that, I think you are onto a good start if you can do that. Okay, I think we can start. So, how to change the whiteness of a notebook page if I want to use Photoshop for some edits in my artwork? Can you give me a specific use case? I could not really understand your query for help. Uh, can you tell me the color quality in ads posters, like the black, gray, yellow? What do you mean by color quality in ad post? Do you mean talking about the color palette, or maybe the resolution? What do you mean by that? Also, logo making, yes. Yes, we can cover that when we go through the pen tool today. So we can talk about that. Okay, I think we can begin. Let me just present my screen. I hope it's visible to everybody. So for starters, I think we can start with talking about typography today. Yesterday we touched bases with image manipulation, and day before that we just went through what all these tools are for. How can I use these tools to my advantage? So, okay. Typography. So how did I access that? By pressing T, I add my text over here. As you can see, I can't really see anything as of now because my primary color is white. I change it to black. I add my content. So by default, if you click on T and you add an anchor to an input box over here, anywhere on your screen, Photoshop will by default add lorem ipsum, which is the dummy content that designers use worldwide. And whatever the last font that you had used, for me it is Montserrat, that is selected by default. This is the size of the font. For example, if I change it to 30 and it is left aligned right now. So this is what the end result will look like. I click on V, which gives me access to my move tool. I just simply position this at the center of my page. Okay. Now, if I want to change the size of this, I can always stretch it however I want, or I can change the dimension from here. For example, I want this to be 100 now. So I can change it from here, right? Maybe I think 100 is a little too much. Let's go for 50 and let's make it centrally aligned so that the next time I change the size, it expands from the center. Okay. So this is the properties panel on the right side that helps me understand what is the specification of any asset that I have. For example, this is text. So I can see that this is the font, this is the font weight. I have multiple options. I have so many fonts. Most of them are system fonts, and I can, of course, upload my own based on whatever work that I'm doing. And this is my size, this is my line height for multiple sentences, and this is my kerning. So what this lets me do is I can set kerning between two elements. For example, just a second. So as you can hover on it, it lets you know that kerning between two characters, the space between these two characters, is what I'm trying to adjust over here. Okay. Minus 1,000 to 10,000. Okay. Let's make it 100. Not really sure why it's not letting me change the kerning right now. Let's try a different font style. Maybe that's why. Okay, it is increasing, but it's like increasing gradually. So I think that's why I can't see it. And this is my tracking, right? So if I set my tracking back to 0, then deselect, I accidentally selected the frame. It happens. So if I've accidentally selected something, for example, if I clicked on this or this page, entire page, and I selected something, what you can do in that case is either click on deselect or control or command D. It deselects whatever selection that you've created. Okay. So, okay, I need to adjust my kerning. So as you can see, when we hover over, tracking. So as you can see, when we hover over these elements, so my cursor changes, right? I now have a pointer, a hand with two arrows on either side. So I can move my element left and right through this. This works kind of like a slider. Similarly for opacity or fill, all of these things can be operated through this. Okay, I'm gonna set my tracking back to normal, and I can change the color from here. And I have my indentations left, right, center, and for a paragraph, I have all these other options which will get activated once I have more lines in my design. I have more options here as well, but I think we don't need to get into this right now. I can change the language from here if my font allows it. For different font families, we have different restrictions for all of that. I can capitalize the content. I can change it however I want. For starters, I had written this in small case. So that is what it's showing me. Right now. All right. So let's start with adding some effects to the font, right? For example, let me just remove this layer. Clicking on it, I can either drop it into my delete icon, or I can just click on this layer and click on the letter key delete from my system. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate and write the word duplicate as well. And I'm going to increase the thickness of this font. Right. I think we had covered this in the first session, but I would love to know if anybody can remember what was the difference between a serif and a sans serif font. Quickly in the comment section, can everybody tell me what is the difference between a serif and a sans serif font? And what type of font is this? Okay, I see a lot of questions over here. Guys, I'm going to address the questions. Meanwhile, if you can all quickly tell me what the difference between serif and sans serif font is. Okay, I think how to make a movie poster. Yes, yes, I think I have something in line with that. Okay, serif has edges, sans without. Great, great, Devansh. Okay, sans serif has little edges outside. No, actually, that's serif. So, okay. Let me just give you an example. I think that will help you understand a little bit better. I think this is a decorative font. I'll just go over here. So when you open the font section in Photoshop, you can see that there are different classes that they have preset for you. We have serif, slab serif, sans serif, script, monospace, handwritten, black letter, decorative. So when you click on serif, you can see that the list of fonts that are shown to you, they all follow the same pattern. All of them have handles on their edges, right? For example, if we check this P character right now, you can see that it has some curves, some extra edges around it. So this is our serif font. Serif has handles at the end of the fonts. Similarly, when I click on this, as you can see, I have selected Montserrat and just a second, we go to sans serif, and these are the fonts that don't have handles around them. They are slightly moving towards a minimalistic approach. Why? Because sans serif fonts are mostly used in digital products, and because of their readability and their size, which is relatively smaller as compared to print media. So there are chances of getting mixed up with each other. The character spacing cannot always be very high. So the designers got rid of the extra handles to give it a more minimalistic approach to increase readability. So that is the difference between sans serif and serif font. Okay, let's go back to our design. Now I had created, this is my original layer, the word duplicate, and I duplicated this layer by either clicking on Command or Control J. You can see that another copy has been created over here. Or what I can do is I can click on this layer, I can hold down Alt or Option for Mac, and I can just simply keep on repeating this layer as many times as I want. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge this layer, right? So as you can see, all of this has been created into one layer. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, wait, let me see. Yes, I'm going to go on filters and liquefy. So it is going to open up a panel. So what I need to keep in mind right now is how much of the brush size is ideal for my design. For example, I think 91 or 77, I think, is fine for me. Density, maybe I want to keep around 50 or 47. Pressure, I don't want it to be less than 60. And rate, I think we don't need to worry about that or work with that right now. Just gonna try to increase the brush size a little bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply move my cursor, tap and bring it down, tap and bring it down. I hope you guys can follow this. I am not just clicking on top and then bringing it down. I'm also releasing it in the middle to kind of give me a very flowing design, and maybe a little bit more at the characters at the bottom. So this is how we can create something, some sort of a design that looks like it is flowing, right? So I think this makes sense. And now I'm just going to touch up on the edges on the side to make it look like it is expanding on the right and the left as well, so that my design is coming out from the edges. Okay, right. So I think this seems okay. I'm going to click on OK now, and as you can see that this is the outcome. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export this as a PNG, or maybe I want to change the background color first. I'm going to quickly unlock this layer, double click, color overlay, change it to black, right? All right. So I'm going to export it as a PNG quickly. Why am I doing that? I think somebody had asked me to create a t-shirt design, right? So I have downloaded this PSD file from freepik.com. I think there are a lot of sites that let you download mockups. So what I've done over here now is, this is a smart image. They have created a mask for you. You don't really need to get into all of that. Double click on the smart object. It is going to open up in a different file. Go to desktop. The design that I had created, I'm just going to simply drag and drop, resize it however I want it to, and save. So this is saving 99%. It's done. And now I go back to my original file. Let me see where it is. So if in case you miss out on your file, this arrow section, this kind of gives you a navigation as to where your design is. So as you can see, the design has been replicated and put on a t-shirt. So if in case you are working for a client that requires you to not only create a poster of your design, but also see how it looks on the t-shirt itself, or a jeans or a bag, anything, a mobile cover, all of these designs can be translated and put into the actual files for maybe as designers we can visualize better than most people how it's going to look on the actual product. But I think for an everyday user, like maybe somebody who is not into the design field, for them maybe I think it's a better approach to kind of give them an idea that this is what it looks like. These are called mockups that you can easily find on sites like Freepik, or I think Smart Mockup is another site that lets you upload these designs on the I think site itself. So if anybody has any questions around this, just a second. I think. Okay, I think nobody has any questions around this, right? Great. Okay, so this is covered. I'm not gonna save this file. I think we are done with Liquify. This was just a layout that I was practicing before coming to you guys. Another typography style that we can get to know, which is again very helpful in t-shirt designing or vector designing. Sorry, not vector designing, poster designing. So what I'm going to do is I just wrote up a text word. I am going to go to, just a second. I think I keep forgetting myself where all these options are. Right, it's in distort and twirl. So what I've done right now is I have just simply added a text, went on to filters, distort, and twirl. So it is asking me that this layer must be rasterized or converted to a smart object before proceeding. This is so that I can later on change the content as well. If I convert it into a raster image, it will be converted into an image, right? It will be converted into a pixelated element. I won't be able to change the text. So instead, I am just going to convert it to a smart object. Okay. And as you can see, this is a preview of my twirl feature. Maybe I want it to be at 50% so that I can see how much it is. And this is the perspective, that this much of an angle you are willing to take. For example, I think 999 degrees is a little too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep it maybe around 82 or 41. So this is how you can curve your design, right? So maybe if I start repeating this layer as well, Control J, just a second, I think. Okay, I'm gonna have to, right. So this is how I can add a twirl filter to my image. And if I want to remove this filter, I can just click on this eye icon at the bottom in my layer panel, and it will be removed from here. Okay. Guys, if you have any questions about the features that I'm walking you through, please feel free to give me a heads up, and I will slow down. Okay, another feature that is something that you should be aware of is sliced. So all these features, typography manipulations that I'm giving you a walkthrough of, all of these collectively help you in creating a design that doesn't just have a normal text of some fancy font, or let's not rely too much on the fonts. As you can see, I can see some previews of some really cool fonts over here. For example, this one, I think if it is stretched in the right size, this does look like pretty nice font, maybe something that if you have seen the movie Great Gatsby, I think this kind of font really resonates with the 1920s era. But again, it will be great if we can create something that is not font dependent. We should also be aware of how to manipulate the design on our own, and not looking for a font, because that could take a long time. So I think it's best to actually have a clarity on how to use these fonts. So okay, going back to Arial regular. Okay, and how to apply the slice tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, slice effect actually, not the slice tool, that is a separate topic. So I'm going to select my pen tool, and I am going to create a free shape right now. Okay, once this shape is created, I am going to click on my selection tool, and just a second, I think I should not have done it with my pen tool. I think it is better if I select my polygon lasso tool. I'm just gonna deselect this area, and I'm going to select my layer which has the text in it, and layer via copy, because the pixel cannot be modified. Okay, it's asking me to rasterize my image first. Guys, this is one of the things that is gonna keep on happening unless we kind of get used to the fact that this is how it's supposed to be. We need to flatten this image before we proceed, right? I think I accidentally flattened the entire layer panel that we had, so maybe I'm going to just duplicate this, put it in a new file, add a background to this, color overlay. Okay, right, not really sure why this did not work. I'm just going to add a color to this instead of doing that, right? Okay, I think what I can do right now is change the color of my text, even locking this layer so I can move freely on this one. All right, selecting my polygon lasso tool, and I can copy that part of the layer, right? Or maybe what I can do is control invert, right? So I have changed the color, and I have, because I had copied that part on top. So these are two separate layers now, and this is what the design looks like, right? So this is how you can slice your design in half. Again, this does look a little bit retro, and I think if that is what your design needs, I think this is a good to have feature. Okay, another thing, another effect is a glitch effect. I think this is pretty straightforward. What you can do is just have your text, Control J, move it a little bit to the left, and copying it again, moving it a little bit to the right. I have two copies of this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of the first design, making it a little bit yellow. And the second copy, I'm going to make it a little bit blue, electric blue. And what I'm going to do is move my primary design on top, right? Another thing that you can do, I think there is a font called Dr. Glitch. If I can find it, or I think it's just called Glitch. Maybe I don't have that font on me right now. But another effect that you can add, if in case you really want a glitch feature, is select parts of your design, add some rectangles to them to make it look like this glitch effect is in process, right? These are the sort of elements that you can quickly add, right? Okay, I'm not gonna save this as well. Okay, I think another, before we move on to more features, I think another request in yesterday's session was to know how to soften face features, how to use a healing brush, basically. I think maybe a healing brush might not be the best solution if the surface is not very clear. Maybe what you can do is use a regular brush, but I'm just going to quickly give you a walkthrough for that. What I've done is gone to this tool, clicked on healing tool, and as you can see that I have a circle instead of my usual cursor right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, and I'm going to click on any of the clean surfaces that I want replicated. For example, if I want to remove this freckle from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and tap, 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 tap. You can see that that particular element is not here anymore. So which is what I had done throughout this image before, and I'm going to hide this top layer so you can see the difference. So as you can see, some freckles or some moles on top I have hidden, and it does not really look too artificial, right? So let's try that again over here. What I'm going to do is hold down Alt. So again, selecting your brush size is very important in case you want to retouch something that is quite small. I don't want to get rid of this mole, but I do want to get rid of this freckle. So I have to reduce my brush size so that I don't accidentally retouch anything else. For example, his eyelashes or eyeliner or something, right? So I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, click on here, tap, 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 and that part is now gone, right? So I think this is just something that I remembered very quickly. If you guys have any other queries, how to design radium t-shirts. Okay, I think that is a little specific. We can get to that later on. Horror design, okay, maybe in another session. Let's just try to keep these three sessions productive. Okay. Guys, if you are having difficulty, you can turn on the subtitles at the bottom. Okay. How to make neon effects in fonts, right? Yes, we will cover that as well. My text panel has hidden how to open that. So this accidentally happens sometimes. What you can do is just go, if you actually do click on any text, I think you will be able to see the properties on the right. I mean, even if you have closed it, it will still come up over here. So I think that is something that you can take note of. Okay. Right. Color percentage in ad posts like black, gray, and yellow. So, okay, I hope that you are talking about, how frequently to use what uh, design. For example, if I have this is my design, right? I think black, white, and yellow. If these are my three primary colors, so what I can do is I think it depends on the design that you are trying to create. For example, if I have something that I need to, maybe it is a clothing brand or something, and I do need to, focus on the brand color, which is, I'm assuming, is yellow right now, and put some text over here. So, for example, hello world is my message right now, and you can see that the color contrast between these two is not very high. My white color is not very easily readable. So what I can do is I can darken the text always. I can do that, and there is no set percentage of what the division should be. I think it depends from brand to brand. If they are comfortable, using majority of the color, or if the brand guidelines allow you to kind of use one color more than the other, so I think you can definitely do that. There is no set percentage on how much what color should be used, so there is no set rule for that. What you can do is look up a few references, maybe go with your design gut, and see what you come up with. And of course, getting your design validated by other users or other people around you is also very important, because as designers, we do think that because we have the experience, we tend to think that we understand color theory and typography a little bit better than most people do, especially non-designers. But I think it is very important to get whatever you're designing validated by people around you, because at the end of the day, they are your target audience, right? So I think that is something that you should definitely think about. And whatever you're designing, make sure that you are getting feedback on that from other people. Clipping mask, yes, okay. I think we can get to that. I think we are done with the slice tool. We are done with the twirl. Okay. Another thing that we can talk about is how to add text in a free path. Okay. So what I have done over here is I have just added an image, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly lock this layer as well. And now I'm going to use my pen tool to create. So I don't want to just simply have a text that is flowing like this. I want it to be, following the curve. And I don't want to maybe press enter after every sentence. What if the content is a little too long? What if I don't really want to do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a container using the pen tool. So this is a good experience, a good exercise for you to learn how pen tool works. So what I'm doing is I am clicking and holding down my cursor so that you can see that the edges are being changed based on that, right? If you press shift and then move your cursor, it is going to, expand either at 90 degree, 180, or 45 degrees, right? Okay, I think this should work. This seems like a good start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in type, load default type style. Okay. Oh, wait, I had to click on T first. Load default type style. Okay, I don't think anything happened. Shoot. Okay, let me just give this one more try. Otherwise, I will get back to you guys on this in the next session. I think I have to. Okay, guys. I think this is something that I need to work on. I will get back to you on this tomorrow. I'm just going to save this file right now so that I can remember that I need to figure this out, how this works. Okay. All right. Apart from this, I think neon design, adding neon shades to your text is something that most of you were concerned about. They wanted to know about it. So what I'm going to do is, this is my black layer. I'm going to add some text on this, the word hello. Okay. So another thing, if you do not want to kind of move your design to the center, if you don't really want to, follow the grid lines that it is telling you that this is the center, what you can do is select another layer, if it is unlocked, that is, and quickly use these alignment tools on top. This also, saves us a lot of time. Okay, so for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly double tap fill opacity in the blending options, fill opacity 0. I'm going to add some stroke to it, maybe 2, right? And the color could be a little lighter, which will help us in adding some glow. So for starters, I'm going to add some inner glow to it. Okay, so going back, I need to copy that this is the hex code of my design, going to inner glow and seeing how this glow looks like. It looks pretty neat. Maybe I can go a few versions lighter. I think going more towards white does not really make sense right now, but a lighter shade of this purple works for me. Okay, so I think this is sorted, but I also want some glow on the outside. So for that, I'm going to click, I'm going to add the same hex code that I had before. And this time, I'm going to increase the opacity, right? So before we get into more details for that, I'm going to just quickly save this and increase the kerning over here, right? I think, sorry, tracking actually, not kerning. I think I went back in minus. Maybe I can just use these handles right now. I think 50 seems fine. I want some breathing space between the characters. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the effects and go back on the outer glow. Now do I want to add some noise on the sides? You can see that it is giving me some sort of a spotty effect around the font that I have. And I think I like it. I'm going to keep it. If I increase the opacity, it is going to increase the opacity of the outer glow that I'm trying to create. This is giving me, a very neon vibe right now. Maybe if you want to increase the spread, you can. I think if you want to, create it overall, you can do that. I think slightly mixing with each other is good. Uh, and setting the range, I think this seems fine. You can add jitter, but I don't think it is making much sense right now. So okay, this is how you can create a basic neon effect. So working more on your inner and outer glow and the shadows, I think you can create a little more realistic effect. But I think for starters, this is a good stopping point for that. Okay. All right. Let's move on to creating something like this. So this is actually pretty simple. What we are going to do, I'm just going to quickly remove all these files, adding some text over here on top of this image. Okay. I'm gonna change the color to make it a little bright. I'm going to increase the size of my font again. This is the size that I think will give me an impact. Replicating my background, and I do want to add another layer in between, which is going to give me my background color. Double click on that, and I think something of a yellow tone, mustard tone, works. So you can't really see it right now because I have my background image over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply click on this image, hold down Alt, and create a mask around this. I think this needs to be here. Just a second, guys. I think there is something wrong with my controls. It's not really working. Let me just, I think it is a smart image. How about I flatten this? Okay. Oops, I think I had tried that before. It did not work. So what I'm going to do is maybe give it some outline and see if that helps my case. Going to blending options. Let's see if this works now. Oh, okay. It was working, but because I had my background layer active, so I could not really see the difference. Okay. Uh, right. I think if I work on that again, so as you can see, because this color is white. Just a second, guys, bear with me. In most days, Photoshop is not such of a mystery, but some days it is. I think today is just one of those days. Okay, I think I had my fill down to 0 as well. So a lot of things are working against me today. Just a second. Okay. This was pretty simple. I think I was just clicking all the wrong buttons today. All right. Okay, so what did I do over here? This layer is not important. I can remove that. The background that I have right now, let's just go back to creating, a more impactful color. So what I've done here is I have kept my image, which I want to be in the text, whatever text that I'm creating. And I have put my text as hello, and it can be of any width or height that you can think of. And the text color does not really matter. It can be standard white or black. Moving that layer, the text layer, below the image. When I click on background copy, the image that I have, holding down Alt and moving my cursor between these two layers, you can see that the anchor has changed now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly tap here, and you can see this image is now a part of this mask, right? So this is one way that you can, add your layers, your images into text. I think this is mostly used in posters or magazine designs. And this is one approach. Another thing that I wanted to give you a walkthrough of was how to add elements that kind of look like they're moving out of, the design. So for that, what we are going to do is I'm going to remove all these layers. So let me just pull up my layer panel a little on the top. And okay, I think I'm going to remove this mask because this is my primary layer, leaving the hello. Okay. So, right, this is my layer right now. And we are going to just simply do the same thing that we had done before. Now I want the shoe to be a little out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this file and zooming in to the shoe part of it. Going to quick selection, not object selection, because object selection will kind of select the entire person and not just the area that I want selected. So what I'm going to do now is make sure that you have your layer selected. These little things kind of make your process a little painful, as you just now witnessed for me. But that's okay. I think these things happen sometime. I have my layer selected. I have selected the shoe that I want on top. What I'm going to do is layer via copy. And if you don't need the background layer anymore, you can also just, layer via cut. This time I'm going to just quickly remove the layer. So another thing, a very brief intro into masking, is I have selected this part of the layer. I think because of the image's low resolution, it did not select the entire shoe very properly, but I think that's okay. Again, working with high resolution images is always a better approach. So that is something that you can keep in mind. I do have this extra part of the foot that I want to get rid of. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to select my layer, click on mask, right? So whatever is on the black is visible, and whatever on the white is not visible. So that is how the colors, these two colors in layers, in clipping mask work. And anything in between kind of gives you, a shade, a hint of, if the color is a little more towards dark, it is going to give you, more visibility. If it is a little towards the white, it is going to give you less visibility. So right now, as you can see that my base is white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just a second, I think I had still, uh, okay, I'm going to click on the brush, and as you can see, because it is white, I can remove it. I can, if I click on it, it is going to remove it from here, right? Similarly, for the rest of the foot as well, whatever is not on this layer, whatever I had selected was cleaned up. Similarly, if I had, okay, for starters, let me just add a color overlay to this as well. Okay, right, this makes more sense now. So whatever I had added over here is getting rid of. Similarly, if I click on Control I, and so this has converted the image. Actually, it has inverted the colors, but I don't really want to deal with that. If I select this, uh, if I select the mask and I click on Control I, so it can, kind of show me whatever I had removed, which was this part, right? This was the part that I had removed. Going back to Control I, this is the part that, because it is the white layer that is active right now, I have removed this part, and this looks pretty sorted to me. Right. Okay. I think this kind of gives us a walkthrough of how to use basic clipping masks. For additional design references, I think tomorrow we can start working on creating a poster and implement all the information that we have learned in the past 3 sessions. I think we have another 5 minutes. Guys, please feel free to drop in your queries. And meanwhile, I'm just going to start creating a base for our design that we can work on tomorrow. I'm going to just quickly write a use case so that everybody, is on the same page, and you guys can come in tomorrow with some ideas on what assets we can maybe put over here. For example, tomorrow we are going to create a poster. Okay, always forget to do this. Uh, Montserrat, I don't want the text to be in caps. Stretching it here. This is how I prefer my font. We are going to work on a poster design, right? What is this poster about? Maybe a company, for example, boat I think this is what the logo looks like. Boat is launching a new pair of headphones. So that is something that kind of establishes the subject of whatever artwork that I'm going to create. Boat is launching a pair of new headphones. It comes in four colors, maybe red, uh, pink, blue, and white. I think instead of pink, maybe we can use yellow. We are trying to, diversify our color range. So I think these are four good colors to go with. And maybe they're also trying to, because Boat is usually, a brand that is famous for its budget-friendly products. So I think another thing that we can highlight in this poster is that it is for rupees 999 only. Okay. And maybe we can list down some features like wireless, or maybe it has some other features. I don't really know what features wireless headphones have. So I'm just going to leave this for tomorrow. Some features that we can, mention. And of course, apart from this, we need to make something that follows the brand guidelines. So, guys, because we don't really have an assignment for these sessions, I think it would be great if you guys can study Boat's brand guidelines for tomorrow's session, and you guys can give me exact hex codes. And don't just say that maybe we can have the poster designed in white or red or black color. You guys need to give me accurate hex codes, that these are the hex codes that the Boat brand uses, and this is what we should use in their design. So I think this is a good start. This is what we are going to follow. Anybody wants to pitch in, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. And this is all what we are going to design tomorrow. So I'm going to just quickly head to the comment section. Let's see if anybody has any queries about this. Okay. With the area WordPad tool. Okay. This is complete selection. Yes, I think that is something that I definitely need to work on. There are so many features. I tend to miss out on some every now and then. I will get back to you guys on this tomorrow. Okay. Masking session separately. Yes, maybe we can do that in some other workshop. Okay. All right. So yes, I am working as a designer. I have been working as a designer for 8.5 years. Okay. Can you teach us the light effect of light on photography using red and blue shades from opposite sides? Okay, I think this is something that we can cover tomorrow. What is best as compared to Figma and Photoshop? So Figma and Photoshop are two very different tools used for two very different use cases. For example, if I have to create an interface, or maybe an application design or a web, or any sort of design that is being used for as a part of a system. So I think for that, Figma is obviously a better solution. But if I am, focused more on vector designs, or poster designs, or business cards, or print media even, or social media designs, I think Photoshop has so many features to offer, which are more suited for these use cases. For example, Figma has a feature of prototyping. For a graphic designer who is working on social media posters, prototype feature does not really apply to them. Similarly, photo manipulation features, again, Photoshop has so many features regarding photo manipulation. But for a UI UX designer whose main agenda is to create that interface and not fixate on the small sample images they have put in from place to place. For example, a profile icon on top right, I have to just put a dummy image. I don't really want to go too deep into designing that image or checking if the color contrast is right over there or not. So I think Photoshop is for designing, graphic designing, and maybe some animation here and there. And Figma is strictly, for UI UX. Again, both tools can be used for either of the projects. As you can see, Photoshop does let you, create some designs for web also. Similarly, Figma does not stop you from creating graphics or small animations in that. So I think the use case is there. I mean, they are versatile. They've been designed to be versatile, to replace each other. But at the end of the day, I think the differentiation is quite clear. Okay. 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 Yes, Figma can be used for poster designing as well. So yeah, definitely. I think this is all for today's session, guys. If you have any queries, please feel free to drop in a comment. Okay, I think some questions are coming in. We will get to them in tomorrow's class. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.